then he's a no-show, you know, because I asked him, I said, dude, are you for sure coming? Please show up, because I've moved around a lot of stuff to be able to get to your motors. Oh yeah, I'll give you my word. And here I am, putting an engine in my shop. Hey, what's up, guys? Man, what a nice day it is today. Look at it. Just look at it. All right, well, selling this core for basically what the jakes are worth. I want to pop the valve cover off and make sure the jakes are in there. Oh, you know what? The jakes aren't in there. The jakes are at Todd's. That mount cleaned up, back on. Once we get this cover off, so gross. Okay, looks like we just got 2 more bolts over there, and then that front part of the cover will be gone. We can get, we'll put this fuel pump back in, and we'll get a new one of those coming. They're expensive, but that's okay. Super necessary. Necesito. You know what I mean? It feels fine. We'll put a water pump on this, I think, because there's really no sense in putting it back together without changing the water pump. It doesn't show any signs of a recent one. Usually when people do a water pump, they don't paint it. And so you can usually tell right away that it's had one because it's rusty. And this shop is a mess. It's nice to have this garbage off of there, though. Hate the fact that they did that. We'll scrape all that grease off. It'll need another clean job if I'm going to paint it. Well, it needs one either way. Even if I'm not going to paint it, it's going to need it for going in Krystal. Probably put a new front main seal in it. Looks like it's been leaking out of this cover a bit. So I'll probably put a peanut cover gasket on it and probably get one that says cat, maybe a chrome one. You know, nobody can see that shit but me. All right, let's go to the side here. It's so dark in here, I got to get a new light. My dad put lights in this building, and they're pretty bright. I can't complain much about it. They're about a dozen years old, and the ballasts are starting to go out. Changed one, then the other one went out, and as soon as I change that one will go out. But we're going to see if we can find some ballasts and put this thing back together again, just like Humpty to Dumpty. Let me bring some tools over. Yeah. I'm going to clean up those bolts in the bolt bin before I reassemble that front cover. Okay, where else? Looks like I'll probably have to do some cutting on this thing because it goes around stuff. This has some grounds going to it, and then that's loose, so those grounds are loose as well. Okay, so 2 grounds. I may have to consult you again later. 2 grounds. And I'll pull this plastic off best I can. Tear this plastic and then peel it out from behind there. I don't really even know what those bolts hold in, but once I get this plastic out all the way, I'll put those bolts back in and maybe look online and see what magic they do. Okay, and then see if I can get this down here where a guy can pull on it a little bit. Can you guys see? I hope. Huh. Big spacer of sorts. Ouch. No, if I gave myself enough room or not, I think so. Gross, man, seriously. Come on, Caterpillar. Whose idea was that? Fire that dude. Well, you probably already did because he was probably Union. Then when this is up there, that can get a zip tie, yeah? Take the strain off that wire. Yeah. All right, let me look here. So we got one off. How many off? 2 off, I think, yeah. We'll make new ones. These are gross. Pretty nasty. Well, I know it's hard to see, but I feel good that I got all that shit out of there. And then when I take this thing outside, I'll hose it down with some degreaser and then pressure wash it. I'll leave the computer loose so I can get behind it. And we'll try and get that all cleaned up in there. And then, oh, I think that used to be back there too. No, I wonder where this used to go. Oh, right there. That used to be right there. We'll clean that hole out and put a new one in there. And these are in. Hopefully I didn't run them through the back inside of the block. You know, that would suck a lot. But it shouldn't be possible if engineers are worth shit. So we're going to change. We're going to get these hoses made. These two, the supply and return from the fuel pump. All right, guys. So it's going to be kind of loud. I'm going to have to talk over this heater. It's getting cold out, and I just pressure washed this engine out there in the cold rain, and come inside, and I want to get some of these miscellaneous lines and hoses and shit off this engine. I want to get the turbo and exhaust manifold off so I can clean this side of the engine and paint it, put a water pump on it, and other miscellaneous stuff. Take some hoses, heater hoses, probably take the belts off and get new belts for it before I stick it in. I got to see if I can change the front seal without taking the front cover off. I don't really want to take the front structure off if I don't have to. I can't tell if it's leaking. I mean, there's grease all over this thing, but it could have just been power steering fluid, because the power steering thing was leaking like a sieve. But I don't know. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, sorry that it's loud. I'll probably turn that off here in a few minutes because it's going to be plenty warm in here. Well, it's 52 degrees in here. It feels like summertime, actually. I know it's dark. My dad's ballasts are finally giving up. Man, it is really raining out there. I'm glad I took this engine out and got it, you know, I'm glad I got all this rubber stuff off and got the engine clean. It's just nice to have that job done. Using this hose pick. That looks just like an O-ring pick. And if you were to say, oh, it's just an O-ring pick, you'd be right. It is just an O-ring pick that they sell as a radiator hose pick. But yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, that's for sure, because it is just a pick. Nothing super special. This upper radiator hose is about $500 for one from Freightliner. You can go ahead and double check on that if you'd like. The thing is, there's a company that makes some stainless, and I don't know why. Well, I guess Freightliner didn't make it stainless because that's more money that the truck would cost, and they're trying to make inexpensive trucks. Ouch. You ever just think to yourself, man, I wish I would have just got that hose a little looser. There we go. Finally. All right. Scotch locks all over the electrical in this thing. Road fixes, I get it. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Keep that money maker rolling. I don't know. Oh, this goes to the radiator. And yeah. Still got that one in my pocket. So I'm not going too crazy on this today. If it wasn't raining, I would probably have the cab up on Krystal and be putting the mounts back in and setting this engine. I don't know if I can set this engine with my forklift. This engine is heavy. It seems like it's a lot heavier than the old C model. I had the C model up, you know, whipped it off the trailer and brought it in here and set it down, and the forklift didn't even seem to care. But with this E model hanging out there, it was really kind of skittish. So I don't really know. This thing's got to be quite a bit heavier to be able to notice it on the forklift. I'd like to get this side, at least get the head painted. You know, the block, there's a lot of, it's busy. The block is busy, you know what I mean? And you know, there's a lot of stuff on this side compared to the other side. I'll have to probably make new intercooler tubing, because the intercooler will be in a different spot. But yes, what I'll do is I'll take off some removable stuff, right? I'll take off this bracket, I'll leave this on, I'll take off this hose, I'll take this wiring harness off of the motor, and you know, lay all the wiring out here, right? And then clean and prep and paint the block. It's pretty rusty from having that stupid padding on it, but we'll and I think they put that padding on it then painted the motor, because where the padding wasn't is yellow, but where the padding is just rust color. So I'll probably pull all of that stuff off, wire wheel down and paint this side, and then paint each component and put it back on. I wasn't going to paint this engine, and I'm still on the fence of whether I will or not, but I would like to, because, you know, I'm putting it in Krystal, and Krystal isn't I'm putting this engine in Krystal. Krystal isn't a show truck, and I'm not going to make it a show truck. I'm going to take it to shows, but it's not like a $1 million show truck. So I kind of wanted to put a rusty looking old E model in there, but it just looks so much nicer when you put the hood up and there's a bright shiny motor in there. Plus you can see oil leaks. And I don't know how much of this front structure is leaking, if anything. And I could probably just take it off and reseal it. The problem is if the plate to engine is leaking, then I got to take a bunch of stuff off in there, I think, and I don't really want to do that. So I think I'll just clean and paint, and you know, when I do the belts, I'll take that whole fan mechanism off and clean and paint behind it, clean and paint those pieces and put them back on. It just will look nicer than rust. I don't like this rusty head, and I really don't like the rusty block. So we're gonna do some anyway. Probably pull this stuff off and clean and paint, and then put this stuff back up and take this stuff off, because I don't want to get a mess down on the floor of things that I can't remember where they go. And yeah, but it's gonna be pretty cool. And then we'll get this engine in, and we'll start working on the wiring harness. We'll probably plug the wiring harness in, and and get the truck running, and a pedal working to make sure everything's good, and then get an extension to get it up into the cab, and you know, spend a day hiding and tucking relays and stuff in the cab, cutting down that relay board and minimizing it so we can hang it somewhere in the truck. I've got a few ideas, we'll have to see. Alright, so we're going to remake these two hoses. The suck side hose and the blow side hose. And we're going to, oh, that's an air bleed. Where's this fancy pressure tap at? I didn't see no fancy pressure tap on this thing. Air bleed. No, I'll have to look. These tubes should be good. This plug should still be good, which is it has to be a fuel pressure switch, right? I just imagine it is. Take that road tube off and maybe make us a new one. I don't know what this is. This shunt does something with voltage, but I don't know what. So we'll be looking into that. Probably warrant a phone call to somebody who's smarter than me. I would have probably built that way, you know. Bolted down. This shouldn't be run up against this. This should be probably behind that. Yeah, that's probably more like how it goes, you know. Clean that shit up, make it nice. Or this could be, could supposedly be up against the truck frame or the motor, and then that would be on the outside, but we'll look at that. Anyways, I'm kind of pooped out on it for today. I'm going to take Jessica and go get some lights. We'll be back. So it's still a little loud in here. I I think it's going to kick off here pretty soon. What I'm doing right now is I'm just cleaning all the grease off of this block. I think I am going to paint it, and for that reason, I want to get all the stuck on grease off so that the grease doesn't get knocked off later and it be unpainted underneath, you know what I mean? So I know this is kind of one of those tedious things I don't really enjoy. I'll get a cover plate for that, because you know that should really be covered up. That's why they come with a cover plate. You know, a guy could be like, oh, you know, I'm not going to put that back on because it's kind of hard to get to, or I lost the bolt, or whatever the situation is. And then, you know, then you got all kinds of grime and dirt going into your clutch housing. And, yeah, you know. So I'm basically going to clean this whole side of the engine today, and try and stay focused and work from the back to the front, and then I'll paint it. And then next time I'm out here working on it, because I have to switch the oil pan around anyways. I got Johnny's coming today. I got some stuff for him to do, but I doubt we'll get to Krystal today, but we might. If Johnny gets the stuff done that I want him to do this morning, then we might pop the cab up on Krystal and do some measuring of the mounts, and put these mounts in that frame, and you know, never know what happens from that point. Could be we put the motor in there today, or not. I don't want to put the engine in and then leave the pan off, but I could put the engine in and put the pan on without the oil pickup, and then get all the pieces and put the oil pickup on later. So I'm not really sure. I would like to have this out of the shop though.